I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. I coach people and organizations to help them be more effective. And my son is starting culinary school, and thus I've started to pay more attention to some of the cooking shows on TV. There's one, it's an old series apparently called Kitchen Nightmares, where Gordon Ramsay goes into different restaurants that are having problems. Let me dissect the plot line of every episode. Terrible restaurant, no people in the seats, food is awful. Chef in the restaurant doesn't know what he or she is doing. I've only seen he's so far, but I'm sure there are going to be some female chefs that are involved. The place is mismanaged. The owners don't know what they're doing. Ramsay walks in, calls attention to all the problems, comes up with a simplified way of addressing the menu, and packs the place in one way or another, and they go off happily. Now, so far every restaurant I've watched has since closed, but that's not important to the story. What's important to the story is, from a career management standpoint, you're the amateur here, just like the owners of these restaurants are really amateurs and don't know what they're doing. They allow themselves, I don't want to say get taken advantage of, but they're being taken advantage of by people who don't care as much as they do about the success. They give away their power to everyone in the restaurant, and suddenly they're in a crisis where they're losing a lot of money and close to closing. Think about your career for a second. Who's the amateur here? You. You're dealing with people who are professionals. The professionals can be the recruiters that you're dealing with. You change jobs once every couple of years. Even if you're a consultant, you change once every couple of months. By comparison, experienced recruiters are handling job changes all the time. With regard to, what I see on the show time and again, people make it too hard on themselves, or they surrender their power to the so-called expert, and the expert takes advantage of the situation. This is starting to sound a little familiar? Even in your current workplace, you give away your power to the people who are running the organization to look out for you instead of managing your own career. This is where it keeps breaking down for people. You need to take charge of your career. Talk to people who are further along. Bring in experts to help you. Like, I don't claim to be an engineer and to have the knowledge of an engineer, but I know how to help people be more effective in the workplace, in a job change, with hiring, and a couple of other areas. So if the issue is a skills issue, you look for a way of simplifying it so you get down to a core element. For most of you, that's not going to be the factor. The factor is everything around the process of career management you don't have a lot of knowledge of, and you don't make the time to learn anything. You don't make the time to ask for advice, hence why I'm calling you an amateur. Don't act like the folks in these shows. Act like professionals do. Whether you hire a coach like me, or you talk to people just from the standpoint of understanding how your career could go. Don't just talk to two people and think you've got it all mastered. Do it continuously. Talk to people who are further along in their careers than you, how they got there. Talk to leaders. Talk to people who are just 3 years ahead of you. But do it regularly. Make a point every other month, every third month, to have an appointment set up for the rest of your career. I know it sounds overwhelming, but you know what's more overwhelming? When you wind up doing crap work because your boss doesn't really care and just assigns it to you, or your ownership starts passing you over because they're starting to take you for granted, and you haven't really done anything to network. Continue to network and start planning for your future. Don't be like the folks on Kitchen Nightmares. Act like a pro instead of an amateur. Hope you found this helpful. I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. If you're interested in my coaching you, reach out to me through LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/